But okay, let's get into the entire first round predictions. We'll get right through these games. So starting with the West, we'll go the 1 versus 8 in both of our cases. Nope.
No, I got the
in
Pelicans.
your case, it's Thunder Pelicans. So okay, Thunder versus Pelicans. Who do you got and how many games?
Okay. I was really down on the Thunder this year earlier on. I was an SGA
Yep.
doubter.
You were.
I'll fully admit that. And as the season's gone on, I told you, I think I texted you a couple weeks ago, and I just said I was wrong about SGA. Like I think guy is so stinking good, and he's a good defender. I'm gonna take but again, the West is stacked, and like you pointed out a couple weeks ago, the gap between the 1 and 2 in the East is the same between the 1 and the 10 in the West. So like, I don't think anyone's gonna breeze through any of this. So I've got the Thunder in 6.
Okay, good. So mine will be Thunder Warriors, and I have the Thunder in 6, but I'm gonna say one thing. I'm gonna add one small thing. If this series goes to 7, the Warriors will win it. So I'm going to take the Thunder just because I think they're better, and they've proven to me this season that they're just a better team. I don't think the Warriors are going to be some easy team to go against, though. And I do think if it ends up going to 7, I would take the Warriors. But my opinion, I'll take the Thunder in 6 here. Okay. 2-seeded Nuggets, 7-seeded Lakers. What do you got?
So if I'm the Nuggets, I'm stoked because I feel like the Nuggets got their number even in close games. Yep. I don't remember. I'm talking kind of off the last year's Western Conference Finals. I can't remember what the season series matchup is between them, but I trust the Nuggets. I trust Jokic. I think they're a really good team. They're very well rounded. I like Aaron Gordon a lot, especially from his Orlando days, and he is the perfect complement on that team. So I really like the Nuggets, but I would take, again, I don't think no one's gonna walk through this. So I'm gonna say Nuggets in 6 in this one also. I think the Lakers can get a couple from them.
I'm pretty similar. I'm gonna go Nuggets in 5 though. I was between Nuggets in 4 and Nuggets in 5, but I'm gonna give the Lakers a game.
4's in play. Going back to I think playing in LA. Sure. I just am not going to be surprised if the Lakers get 1 or 2. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if the Nuggets sweep either. I mean, I think there's a possibility. I don't think the Lakers have a chance in this series.
Me neither.
It would take probably an injury on the Nuggets side for the Lakers to win this.
I'm with you. But I'll go Nuggets in 5 on this. I'll give the Lakers 1 game, but outside of that, I think it's going to be the Nuggets all over this series. Okay, interesting one. I think it's going to be really good. The 3rd-seeded Timberwolves versus 6th-seeded Suns, who, in fact, the Timberwolves are favored to lose this series. I just learned.
By Vegas?
By Vegas.
What's the...
I don't know. I saw a post on it earlier today. It just said the Timberwolves
now, is Cat back? Or is he out?
I think Cat's back. Cat is back.
Okay, because he had like a surgery, right? This is where I say, like, I don't watch enough of the NBA.
Cat came back
over.
the last.
Cat came back.
Cat came back the last game or 2. He's back.
Did he play the other day when they? Okay, and the Suns
pretty
worked
positive.
him.
They did work him.
Yeah. Well, now I'm rethinking my pick.
No. He did play that game. Yeah, because he came back. So Cat did play. So the Timberwolves. Yeah, you're right. The Timberwolves were full strength. From what I know of, and the Suns did work them. Okay, Timberwolves Suns. Give me the Timberwolves, even though
I'm starting to figure out here. My picks are kind of boring. I don't trust the Suns either. I've seen them play some pretty awesome games. Like they've worked the Kings pretty well, but they struggled with the Kings the other night, and the Kings are like, I mean, you shouldn't struggle against that team right now if you're the Suns. Sure. Like that should be a game that you're like, we got this, because they're shorthanded. You've got Booker, Durant. I've never been a big fan of Beal, but Grayson Allen is.
He just got paid.
He just got paid because of how good he is this year. And when you've got a guy that can shoot that well from 3, that's playing off Booker and Durant, they're not going to have any trouble scoring. But I just don't trust them. I think the Wolves are really good. I love Anthony Edwards.
They are.
I think Anthony Edwards is one of my favorite players in the league, and I picked Wolves in 6 in this one too. This is kind of boring for me. I'm saying everybody in 6. I kind of hope for a good series with all these.
No, I mean series in six are normally pretty good. I'm gonna agree with you here, and I think that what you brought up is the Suns' biggest problem. I think the Suns, because before the season started, my pick for the finals this year was the Suns. They were just loaded. Now I knew the one thing was defensively, this team wasn't going to be they were going to be subpar defensively. They were going to have, like you said, no problem scoring the ball. Now with the emergence of Grayson Allen, I mean, that just
Right.
solidifies that. But their defense is kind of an issue. So I think that's obviously what's been their biggest problem this season. The Timberwolves are number one in defensive rating this year. Rudy Gobert has absolutely held it down in the paint this season for the Timberwolves. And they've honestly surprised me. Anthony Edwards has been unreal. I'm taking Timberwolves in 6 here. I think the Suns should be better than they actually are because I don't think Kevin Durant, I don't think he's a bad defender. Outside of that,
He's
though,
really good when he wants to be.
yeah, you're right. He is.
He was
I think
like that in Golden State too, where it was like if that dude wants to lock somebody down, I mean, he's long, he's strong, he's fast. I still can't believe that dude came back from an Achilles and just looks like nothing ever happened. He's
anomaly,
it's
dude.
amazing.
It is amazing. It's you'll
Especially
never
like
see
he's
that.
not that young either. It's just like I mean, I don't know how he does that, but
I think it's kind of funny. This is a little off topic, but I was talking to somebody about the whole Achilles thing, and I was saying how I think your best case, but outside of Kevin Durant, who was like a total anomaly in this situation, I think your best case scenario you're looking at it's coming off an Achilles injury is like Klay Thompson. Like I know a lot of people don't like Klay
or a
Thompson right now.
Sean
They don't.
Livingston career. I mean, look what
Or
Sean
Sean maybe
Livingston became. Like he's
100%.
a good player, but Sean Livingston was amazing before that injury. He was going to have a great
Yeah.
career, and that was a nasty injury.
Mm-hmm. So I think those are like your best case scenarios. But then you look at Kevin Durant, who tore his Achilles, sat an entire season, and comes back and he's arguably better than he was before.
I
I
know,
mean,
so that's
it
crazy.
doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So
Well,
that's KD for you.
he almost carried Brooklyn the year that I think it was the year
Oh,
the Bucks won the championship, right? He almost carried Brooklyn to that just a little bit,
that
and
close, dude.
like
They were that close.
that's a good team that they were playing. So
His foot was on the line by like a centimeter, dude. And if it wasn't, who knows? It could have been totally different. Okay. We both have Thunder Nuggets Timberwolves so far. 4-5. Clippers, Mavericks. This will be a really good series, I feel like. And I want to know who you got.
all right, I'm really high on the Mavericks.
Me
Um,
too.
I think they're so good, and they're on a run with normal acting Kyrie right now. Kyrie is so Kyrie is so good, and when you've got, you know, it depends on what Kawhi you get, right? If you're going to get Kawhi, I mean, there's sometimes you see Kawhi and you're like, is this guy the best player in the league? Like
I
he's
know. You're right.
unbelievable. But then for the most part, the Clippers are just kind of like they're a weird team. Like they went on a really good run where it looked like they were the best team in the West for a while, and then all of a sudden it's just like, does James Harden care? Is Westbrook always cares? You know you're going to get that from Westbrook. I think that's big for them to have him back from the hand injury. But
Sure.
I went way against what Chalk would say on this one, and I said Mavs in 5.
Ooh,
I know.
5.
I took
I like it.
that's my big gamble there because I'm really high on the Mavs.
I like it. No, I like Mavs in 5. So I kind of agree with everything you said here, but I am going Mavericks as well. I'm taking the Mavs here to win this series. I've been really high on the Mavs. They have been so good as of their last even 15 or so games. They've been extremely good.
I think
Kyrie's
they're
been
one. I honestly, I think they might be the best team in the West right now, as far as if you just looked at that small sample size of the last
they're the
15.
100%. If you're looking at the last 15, 20 games, they're 100% the hottest team in the West, and they're probably the best team in the West in that sample size. So
Yeah,
I'm taking the Mavs here too. 5, I get a little iffy on. I gotta respect. Not that you're not respecting them, but Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are arguably the two best two-way players in the NBA. So
right.
if they're bringing it, it's not going to be an easy series here for the Mavs. I am going to take the Mavs in 7 here. I think it's going to go to game 7. And I think the Mavs are going to end up pulling it out. I like Kyrie in an elimination game, but I went back and forth with this because I also like Kawhi in an elimination game. But
It just
ultimately, I
depends
think
on what Kawhi we get, right?
true,
I mean, it's really
100%.
like, I mean, if you're going to get healthy Kawhi and honestly, it probably depends more on what James Harden you're going to get because I don't trust James Harden in the playoffs at all.
Definitely not. He hasn't shown anything in the playoffs.
I think the
ever.
most reliable thing you can count on is going to be Westbrook. You know what you're going to get from Westbrook, and that's great to
Sure.
have him off the bench. I think the Paul George question too would also be. I mean, Paul George is awesome. I really like Paul George too. I just think the Mavs right now, they're hot. I think they can ride that hot streak, and I think the Clippers haven't been. I think they've been struggling. So, um, yeah,
That's fair. The Clippers have been one of the colder teams in the playoffs as of recently, if
I
you look
think
at that.
they're. I'm trying to pull up the. Sorry, dude. I just saw your text about moving the thing,
No, it doesn't matter. It's okay. There's that little I can say anything. There's it doesn't matter. But
the logo. Yeah.
yeah, the logo. It's fine though. Because when
I'm.
I edit this after and I can get your face in the photo.
Oh,
But
sure. Yeah,
anyways.
yeah. So yeah, looking at the West playoff teams, they're the team entering the playoffs on a 3-game losing streak.
The Clippers.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Clippers. Now Dallas did
Interesting.
lose their last two. They're 7-3 in their last. So I mean, 6-4 in their last 10. The Clippers. So I mean, they're not. It wasn't that. But I feel like there was a really bad stretch there for a while where it was like, dude, are they going to fall out of this?
No, there
Um,
was 100%. You're right about that.
they. I
There,
actually for a minute there, I thought the Mavs were going to jump them.
they could have. The Mavs are hot. The Clippers are not. So I can definitely see the Mavs winning this series. I have the Mavs winning this series,
Hard
but
to say that
I
a team that won 51 games and it's like,
I know. Pretty crazy. Okay. So we got our picks. I think we picked the exact four same teams in the Western Conference.
we got Thunder, Nuggets, Wolves, and Mavs.
We do. So let's move on to the East, the
All right.
eastern side of the country. And we'll start with the 1-8. In my case, it's Celtics Sixers, and in your case, it's Celtics Heat. I think I have a feeling we're both gonna
Man,
pick the
wouldn't you just
Celtics
aren't you
here.
just mad if you're a Boston fan? Like what are the zombie Heat doing here
I know.
again? Like
I
that's
know.
just
That's a good
what a
point.
terrible draw for them. Because even I got the Celtics winning this, but that's just a one of those like they're just gonna beat them up and like it's just not a fun 8-1 matchup. You kind of want that to be an easy 4 or 5 game series,
Totally.
and the Heat are just not gonna. I don't think they're gonna roll over.
No, they're not. Well, so you have the Celtics in what?
I
5?
said Boston in 5.
Okay.
I think the Heat will get 1.
Yeah, I mean that can. Yeah, that's fair. I have Boston in 5 too, but I just got thrown off because I had the Sixers and I forgot we were different. But
Oh,
yeah, so
you
Celtics.
have Boston. You have Boston over Philadelphia. Then that's
Yeah,
your
because
8-1 matchup.
yeah,
If
yeah,
you're
yeah.
Boston, who would you rather face? Who are you
If
rooting
I'm
for?
if I'm Boston, I'd rather face. That's tough, dude. That's so
I don't want
tough.
to face Embiid though. I don't want like
That's the
all of a
thing.
sudden the Sixers. I don't think the Sixers are a 7 seed with Embiid. They
They're
should
not
be 3 or 4. Like they're.
exactly. I agree with you on that. That's a good point. And I think if you're a Celtics fan, you'd rather face Miami,
I think so too.
unless Embiid wasn't there. But
But
obviously
I
he's
also
here
think
now.
the
And
Heat are just this stinking monkey on their back, right? Like I mean, the Heat have had they were a Jimmy Butler 3-pointer away from beating Boston in the year the Warriors won it, right? 2022. What was that? Yeah, 2022,
yep,
right?
yep,
So it took them 7 games to get rid of them there, and last year it took them 7 games, and then Tatum rolls his ankle 20 seconds
brutal.
into the game, and
Mhm.
you can't make the comeback from 3-0. They're
I know.
just kind of this I don't know. They're like a rash to Boston.
Mhm.
It just won't go away.
No, you're right. So I have the Celtics here going against the Sixers, and I have the Celtics in 5. Just because they've been, even if Joel Embiid, like you brought up, if Embiid was there, they would be a 3 or 4 seed.
Yeah.
But the Celtics are still just better than everybody right now. So I still think it's gonna be pretty convincing series win here for the Celtics. So I got the Celtics moving on. We both have them moving on. Okay. Next matchup. For you, it's the Knicks versus the Sixers, and for me, it's the Knicks versus the Heat. Who do you got?
All right. I took so I'm Knicks Sixers. I took Knicks in 7. I think it's going to go
Okay.
deep because again, I think Philly's more of like a 3 seed. I don't think this is. You could see it going either way. I think I like the Knicks with the home court in New York.
Sure.
So I took Knicks in 7 over
Okay.
Philly.
Good pick. I got the Knicks in 6 over the Heat. Same type of reasoning. I think the Knicks, I mean, it's funny because kind of like how you were with Oklahoma City, maybe. I was not super duper high on the Knicks this season. I always kind of thought Jalen Brunson got a little just a little too much hype. But
I
dude,
thought he did too, but now he's kind of this year
he's a
he's kind
baller.
of shown like, all right, this because last year he wasn't an all-star last year, and it was like when I think the injury or was he?
I don't think he was an all-star last year.
He didn't get in with an injury replacement, did he?
No, I don't think so. Because I'm pretty sure, from what I remember, this was his first All-Star game.
I think you're right. I think you're right. Yeah, and he deserved it.
I
He
could be
he
wrong.
needed to be an all-star this year. I like that he's. It always bummed me out that the Mavs let him go, but he needed to be his own. He have his own team. Like can't being next to Luca wouldn't have worked for him in the long run. Especially he's shown that he can be the number one guy on a team.
He was the highest scoring American this year.
Was he really?
He was at fifth. He was fifth in the league.
What did he average?
28.7 points.
Who was the next American?
The next Devin Booker.
He averaged more than Devin Booker. Okay.
He averaged 1.6 more points than Devin Booker.
Wow.
That is just a ton of Americans, but the top four are not Americans. Pretty crazy. The game has gone global. Anyway, so we both have the Knicks here. In good series, though, like I have the Knicks.
The Knicks over Heat's going to be a rock fight.
That will be a rock fight.
If it's Knicks Heat, that's going to be a rock fight.
I can see it going 7.
I'm telling you, dude. It's so hard not the Heat. The Heat are the herpes of the NBA. They just won't go away.
It's a good one. You're right about that, though. So I could honestly see the Heat even winning this series, but I am going to go Knicks. Okay. This is kind of an interesting one. Third-seeded Bucks versus sixth-seeded Pacers. What do you think?
All right. This is the first upset I've got on here. Real upset. I mean, 5-4 in the West. I think the Pacers are going to win this. I'm not big on the Pacers. I think they've got a lot of problems, but when they're right, they they score so much, and I don't think the Bucks will be able to keep up with them. We've also seen the Pacers they're not a nice matchup for the Bucks. I mean, they've got good players. I would love to see Halliburton be Halliburton. It kind of sucks that guy, like, he's just since the All-Star break, since he came back from the injury, the hamstring, right?
Yeah.
He just didn't seem right. It seemed like they might have rushed him back a little early, and maybe that was because of the stuff we were talking about with the All NBA. Because if he gets All NBA, he can make $40 million more. So maybe they were doing him a favor by rushing him back to say he could play, so he could get to the 65. Did he get to the 65 games? He didn't.
I don't think so. Because I remember seeing that
sucks.
Wait, hold on. Because now you have me.
I know, right? I thought he got to 65.
Hold on. Tyrese. Because I thought I remember seeing. Oh no, I'm thinking of Donovan Mitchell because he went out for a while and he did.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on. Let me see. I might be thinking.
He
Donovan
played 69.
Mitchell.
He got
69.
there.
You're right.
Okay, I was gonna feel so bad for him. I really like Tyrese. I don't think he's as good as everybody is making him out to be. But I'm also, like, I'm really big on defense, and I think he's terrible on defense. So that's why I'm not as big on him. But I loved Tyrese when the Kings drafted him. I loved him in Sacramento. I'm not shy about the fact that I think the Kings actually won that trade purely off of what they were able to do outside of the trade, not having Halliburton around, like sign Monk. That wouldn't have worked. So they got, basically, in my eyes, they got Monk and Sabonis for Halliburton. Like, it's hard to say you lose that trade. I mean, it's pretty even, but still, I think so. I had Pacers in 6. Sorry, I talk a lot.
No, dude, this is a podcast. That's what we're here for. I have the Bucks in 6, and I just kind of realized too, my picks are pretty boring for the most part. But I have the Bucks in 6 here. I don't see a world where the Pacers get out of the first round and going against Giannis and Dame. Now, I do know that the Bucks have been fairly underwhelming this season, and I did think that the Bucks would be better. I thought Giannis and Dame individually had really good seasons. I think they were both all-star starters. And I did think that as a team, they would be a lot better. And I thought they'd rival the Celtics for the 1 seed. That clearly didn't happen. But I'm going to put my trust here in Giannis. And I know Damian Lillard hasn't shown a ton in the playoffs, but I'm going to put it in Giannis and Dame over Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers. Now, I do know that the Pacers, you brought it up a little bit. The Pacers are kind of a tough matchup here for the Bucks, and we saw it in the regular season. But I got this feeling. I'm kind of riding here with Giannis, dude. I think it's going to be a good series. I do. I don't think it's going to be a sweep or anything. I'm going to go Bucks in 6, but I am going to ride with Giannis. I think he's going to be too much to handle in the paint. I think Dame, I've always been a Dame guy, and I know he's kind of been owned by the Warriors for years, and he hasn't proved much in the
Because he
playoffs.
doesn't play defense.
Sure, you're right about that.
He's
He
a
doesn't play
terrible
defense.
defender. He's
He
so
doesn't
bad
play
on
any defense.
defense. Him and Trey
You're
Young
right.
are just so it's cringy.
They are bad defenders. Trae Young is a very bad defender, and Damian Lillard is also a bad
And
defender.
I love Dame. Dame's a great player. But when you're
Totally.
bad on defense, I just think I'm like a get off my lawn type of guy with that, where it's like, even with Jokic, like Jokic is that way too, where it's like, I think Jokic is amazing. I think he's one of the best players in the world, but he's not a great defender. Jokic isn't a terrible defender because he's actually really smart on where he needs to be. He
Sure.
knows where to go, and he knows the game. His IQ is really high, so he's in the right spots. Um, but I still am just like, nah, I want to see you be good on both sides, at least average on defense. If you're going to be an awesome offensive player, put the effort in on defense. Like Curry does that, where it's like he gets underrated as a defender, but he's in the right places. He doesn't lack effort.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Smart defender.
yeah,
Got to
smart
know what to
defender.
do.
So the Pacers Bucks, the season series is Pacers 3-2. They played 5 times this year because of the
Wow.
play-in.
Oh, yeah.
Or not the play-in, the in-season
The
tournament.
in-season tournament.
Now they had the weird thing is when you play 5 times and they haven't played since January 3rd, which is crazy to think that they went
Really?
playing 5 times. They haven't played since January 3rd. They played 1 game in November, 2 in December, 2 in January.
Really?
But yeah,
Why
so it's
haven't they played this?
3-2 Pacers, and the Pacers were able to beat the Bucks twice in Milwaukee. So that's what makes me
Ooh.
go, that's not a good sign for the Bucks, especially when the Bucks did not beat the Pacers in Indiana. So the games
Valid.
the Bucks won, the 2 games the Bucks won were both in, am I looking at this right? Oh, dude, no. Pacers are 4-1 against the Bucks this season.
Oh.
And the 1 game the Bucks won was in Milwaukee. And then there were 2 games in Milwaukee that the Pacers won. So not a good
You're
sign for
right.
the Bucks.
You're right. I
But
am
to
looking
be
at that.
fair, that's literally, over 3 months ago that last game was played. So
Dang. I thought they played more recent than January.
I did
I
too.
was
And then
wrong.
I looked at that. I was like, I guess
Definitely
January
thought they
3rd.
did.
Yeah. So
January 3rd.
yeah,
Okay.
I think that's the first real difference we have, right?
Yeah, it is.
So I've got the Pacers moving on, and you've got the Bucks. Okay.
Okay. Next one. This will be a fun one for you,
Oh
I
wait,
feel like.
I gotta switch my jersey.
Should I switch my jersey? I'm going to switch mine because I have a Magic
Let's
jersey
put
too.
on our Hardaway jerseys.
All right. I'll do it. I am not an Orlando Magic fan. For the listeners, not a Magic fan at all. I like them. I think they're fine. I can totally be a Magic supporter, but I'm not a Magic fan. So this jersey does not make me a fan. I just like the jersey, and I'm giving it a little warning for the
I
people
have
out
to
there.
point this out because I didn't know she did this. Can you see
I
the
saw it.
chalkboard behind
I
me?
saw it, and I was gonna say, did that say "Go Lakers"?
Yes, that was my
Okay,
wife being
so
being a
I was
troll.
dude, I was going to say something and I saw "Go LA" and I couldn't see the rest. So I was like, I'm not gonna. Maybe it's like some personal thing. I wasn't gonna say anything. I didn't know what it was. Go Lakers! I saw that
No,
earlier.
she's being a
That's
troll.
funny. That's funny.
That's it now.
That's really funny.
Ugh, come on.
I like it. Well, I don't like the Lakers, but that was funny.
We're
I'm
gonna
always here
discuss
for a
this
little.
later.
That's funny. But
She
before
knows, like, because I'm like this. I'm worse with Dodgers because I mean, to me
okay,
it's like this because we, at least with the Lakers, like I love Shaq. So and
sure,
Kobe is one of those guys that, as much as I hate the Lakers, Kobe's amazing, and
sure.
I'm a huge Kobe guy, but not while he was playing, I hated him because he was so good. But anyways, she knows
Okay,
that that's a problem for me. I was gonna put this on too, but then just became kind of a hassle. So I got my Orlando Magic hat here too.
I like it. I was
Telling you,
just
I'm a
letting the
cheater.
people know. I was just letting the people know that I'm not a Magic fan. That I just like the jersey and Penny Hardaway.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Um, not a Magic fan. I'm a Warriors fan. Okay, fourth seeded Cavaliers versus a fifth seeded Magic.
Go. Can
This
you
is going to
erase
be
that?
good.
Now I
Good
can
call.
see it, and it's gonna just.
I saw it earlier, dude.
Oh
That
my
made me
gosh. Yeah,
laugh.
I didn't see it.
Um, this is going to be good, man. What
All
do we
right.
got, you Magic
So
fan?
yeah, so I'm gonna take Magic in 6. I don't trust the Cavs. I think that they're that little 18 game win streak they went on. Um, I think if
Did
you
they go
look
on
at
an
that,
18-game win streak?
I'm pretty
Holy
sure it was
cannoli.
18. Uh,
I don't know. Remember that. That's crazy, dude. I don't even
well,
remember that.
I remember mainly because
Sounds kind of familiar, maybe. That was earlier in the season.
well, it was earlier in the season, and I remember it was a let's see, I'm trying to find where that win streak was. So
Dang, 18 games. Why do I not remember that? That seems like pretty big
wasn't it
news.
18? Am I wrong?
No, I don't know. You're probably right. I just don't. I just, for
Oh
some
wait,
reason.
no. I'm sorry. They went. So let's see. They went. It was like they were like 18-1 in their
Okay.
last. It was they had a loss in between in the middle there, but they went
Okay.
on like so. Let's see. They were on a. It was an 8 game win streak. Then they lose, and then they went on a 9 game win streak. So it was 17-1 over the last 18. That's what it was.
Okay.
So it was an
Okay.
18 game win streak.
Okay.
But they went 17-1 over 18 games. But people were making a huge deal out of it. And then I went and looked at like their schedule, and I'm like, okay, this isn't that because it's like it started off with 2 Washington wins, and
Mhm.
then they go San Antonio and Brooklyn and Chicago. So there's 5 teams to start that run
Mhm.
with no playoff teams except for the Chicago play-in team, right?
Mhm.
Then they stomped on Milwaukee, but then they go Atlanta. They lose to Milwaukee. They do beat Orlando. That was a nice quality win because they beat them in Orlando, which Orlando's really good at home. But then
Yeah.
it's like you got Detroit, Memphis, San Antonio, Washington, Brooklyn, Toronto. Like it's like a very few quality wins
Yeah.
within this 17-1 stretch. And that's where it
True.
was like they got a little bit blown up of like, look how good they are. And they are a good team. Don't get me wrong. And that's what a good team does is beats the bad teams, right? Which like the Kings couldn't do that this year. They lost to a bunch of really bad teams. So anyways, I don't trust the Cavs. So I took the Magic, yeah, in
I
6.
like it. A Magic in 6. I have Magic in 7. And I am not, I've always been a big Donovan Mitchell guy, but I'm kind of with you, dude. I mean, like, you kind of
He
took the
also doesn't
words out
seem
of,
happy.
okay, so I was going to bring that up. I actually wrote this down because it sounds like Donovan Mitchell's out of there. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, because it doesn't sound like he's, I mean, I don't know. When he got traded to the Cavs, it was this whole thing, and it sounded like he was fine with it, whatever. It was kind of unexpected. And now it doesn't seem like he wants to be there much. It doesn't seem like it's the relationship's really working. I don't know. There's been reports that they haven't gotten extensions done, and it sounds like he's probably not going to be there. Um, I don't trust this Cavs team, and I'm kind of with you. And honestly, a couple of years ago, last year might have been, I had a little bit more faith in them. This season, I don't, and I like the Magic, dude. Now I haven't watched a ton of Magic games, and I should have
They're not
because
good in
it's
the fourth.
sick.
They don't play well in the fourth quarter. Because their offense isn't great. They don't shoot the three very well. They've got some big weaknesses. Like they're very young. They've got I mean, they don't have a shooter. Like that's why I think the team most likely to pull Monk away from Sacramento would be Orlando. I
Mhm.
think Monk would be a perfect fit there. But their defense is great. Jonathan Isaac off the bench is a huge like that's I think Jonathan Isaac, if he played enough minutes, he'd be given being the he wouldn't win it, but he'd be in defensive player of the year talks.
He
I think
always was.
Suggs is often awesome on defense, and I
Mhm.
think Suggs is going to at least be able to frustrate. I don't know
Sure.
if he's going to guard Garland or if he's going to guard uh why am I blanking on his name?
Are we talking about Donovan Mitchell?
Mitchell. I don't know
Yeah.
who he's going to guard, but
Yeah.
I like the Cavs. Cavs are a good team. I like Mobley. I think Mobley's a really good player. I just don't think that their chemistry is going to get them past. And I think one of the things about Orlando that you notice, they love playing with each other. Like they
Mhm.
love that
That's
team.
huge.
They're close. They love each other, and I think
That's
that's
huge.
really big. I think they're having fun. They've got nothing to lose because if they go out in the first round, no one even thought they'd be there. So
Yeah. Don't matter.
similar to where the Kings were last year, where it was like,
Sure.
look, it sucks that they lost in 7 to the Warriors, but at the same time, it was like I went to game 2 and it was like that was so fun. And I mean, nobody was really that disappointed. We're far more disappointed in this year than last year with the Kings. But
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
so Orlando I think is has a good shot at taking Cleveland.
I'm with you on that. Okay, so those are our full first round predictions, including the play-in tournament and then the first round itself. So we got our first round predictions there. Really
So
excited.
I think the West were the same, right?
You know what? No, there weren't, because I'm gonna change one. I'm gonna change one
Oh,
right now. Can I do this? I can. I kind of make the rules on
it's
this
your
show.
rules.
Okay, I'm changing one. The Thunder, bye bye. You're gonna get beat by the Warriors in the first round. And
Oh my
I don't know.
gosh.
Dude, so listen, dude, I was give me a sec. I was looking back on this the whole time we were talking. I kind of kept glancing. I have Thunder win over Warriors. I have it written right here. And I was like, you know what? I kept looking. I was like, I don't know. I kept looking at my Clay jersey I was wearing. I was like, I don't know about that, dude. And you know what?
I
Listen,
mean,
I
the
know that.
Thunder are by far the youngest 1 seed that the league's ever seen, right? So I mean, youth,
So.
that doesn't bode well, but they've just been so much more consistent and they've kind of
Oh yeah,
shown some grittiness to them that I didn't expect.
100%.
Um,
They're better.
and
They've
spoiler
been
alert,
better.
I think they've got the MVP.
Yeah, good call, dude. We'll get there too, because that's a spoiler for me as well. Um, Listen, I just think I was gonna say something right now, and then it kind of just
Sorry.
flew away out. No. It just
Well,
soared
you
out of
think
my
Warriors
brain.
over Thunder. So why? Tell me why.
I think Warriors over Thunder, and there was a reason that I was about to say, and I'm gonna think of it because it was something that I was gonna say. But anyways, okay, so the Warriors over the Thunder. Um, I think it can totally happen. And you brought up how the Thunder are the youngest 1 seed, 100%. I think the Thunder have literally been the better team. And I mean, obviously, they're the 1 seed. That's not even close. The Warriors are the 10th seed right now. But the experience levels, way different. We know that. And I do think that plays a big role. I don't think it plays maybe not as huge of a role as some people might think, but experience when you're going against guys who have 4 championships who aren't done yet, they're going to get another one at some point. I think that plays a huge, huge role. Steph Curry is still Steph Curry. Klay Thompson, if he can continue playing like he has the last 6 or 7 games, he's been really, really good. You got Klay Thompson, you have a sharpshooter, and you have who I think he's still a solid defender. Other people may disagree. Draymond Green is still one of the best defenders in the league and of all time. This team, I just think if they can get it clicking, and I know they haven't, and it's a huge ask, and this is kind of a risky pick here. I just think it's a huge if, and I never like to be the guy with the, well, if they can get it clicking, it's like, well, they haven't. They can though. I know. I've
And
been
you've seen
watching
it.
these guys for years, and I know that they can get it clicking at some point. Will they? I don't know. Like I said, this is kind of a bold pick. I'm gonna take Steph Curry here and Klay Thompson in a 7-game series against the Thunder, who have very minimal experience. The Warriors have been there and done that. They've beaten teams like the Thunder. Steph Curry is still in his prime, absolutely killing it.
I'll play devil's advocate here though and say who's got the better coach?
Yeah. So not the Warriors. That's the biggest obstacle for the Warriors. And I could go on
Okay,
about that for
so
another hour and a
to go
half.
back at you a little bit. Look, I don't think you're wrong about the fact that can the Warriors do it? Yeah, I think when you look at the West, I think any of those. I don't think the Kings have a shot. And honestly, with the way I've seen the Clippers lately, I don't think they're going to go deep. I think those are probably the 2 teams that you can say probably aren't going to go deep.
Sure.
Now the Clippers could. I really think the Kings probably are the only ones you say don't have a chance at doing a deep run. And I
Mm-hmm.
think mostly of that is just because of their injuries.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're playing with 2 of their top 5 guys out, which
Yeah.
that's hard to do. Even
Mm-hmm.
when you're healthy, you're not the best team. So I think in the West, anything's possible. But OKC, very good at home. So the Warriors being a good road team might not bode well in OKC because they're a good home team. I think when you're on the floor, you've still got the best player at OKC, even though Curry can be. I think
Mm-hmm.
SGA is the best player on the floor when you come out. I think Curry's the next best player, but I think the bench you're probably looking at OKC. I don't see a path with the Warriors the way that I've seen them play out because I've watched them a lot this year too. I don't see a path for them beating Oklahoma City unless you're just going on the youth and
Shea
the fact
Gilgeous
that they're young and the inexperienced.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander has 100% been the best player, and like you said, spoiler alert, he might be my MVP as well. But
is he better than Curry over? Like, no, he's not. Curry's like one of the top 10 players of all time. But I'm just saying, this season, SGA is the better player.
he has been better. But if I have to put my trust in one of them in a playoff
You haven't
series,
seen it with SGA yet. You're right.
that's kind of where my mindset's at. Listen, I didn't have it this way for all day for a reason. This is just kind of a spur of the moment.
I like that you
take
can
here.
talk yourself into your team. I can't do that. I like even
I
like the
can.
Giants today. I'm just like they're playing the
Oh
Marlins and they were down
gosh,
3. I'm just like
they won,
I
but
think
yeah.
this is a six. I know they ended up coming back. I'm like I think this is a 65-70 win team. I mean the way that they
Well,
are, I
it's
just don't.
different because when it comes to the, I'll say this real fast, and then we'll move on to the regular
Yeah,
season. And we'll,
sorry.
we'll kind of no, it's good. When it comes to the San Francisco Giants and the 49ers, I can't do that because I haven't seen it. I haven't seen anything. I'm essentially very pessimistic when it comes to those two teams. Well, okay, I'm talking about current Giants. Back then, Giants is a different
Well,
story,
yeah,
but
there's
we
no
got new
one left,
management.
right? There's no
So
one
I
left
just
from that
exactly,
team. We've seen
it's a
Bob
different
Melvin
time.
do great things as a coach, but he's
Sure.
never.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. It's just different. So okay, that's kind of where I'm going. Is that I haven't seen it. I would never
We've
be
seen it
like
with the
do that with
Warriors.
the
I'm with
Niners.
you on that.
I seen it with the Dubs, and I
Kind
can
of like what
trust
we were
them.
saying with the Heat. We've seen the Heat
Exactly.
come alive in the playoffs. I think you're right. I mean, they've got a shot. I think you're right. I would take, even if I don't even have Warriors getting there, but I would still take the Thunder. But you got Warriors going. You got Warriors in round 2 then.
I got Warriors going to the finals. I'm just
No,
joking.
you
I'm
don't.
just joking. That's a joke. That's a lie. But okay, we're gonna move on. So yes, we both had I had Warriors, Nuggets, Wolves, Mavericks. You had Thunder, Nuggets, Wolves, Mavericks, and
Yeah,
then I had Celtics, Knicks, Bucks, Magic. You had Celtics, Knicks, Pacers, Magic.
right.
Am I right? Perfect. Good
I
stuff.
think you're right.
Okay.
So I got
I think we
Thunder,
got it there. Going to be a good
Thunder,
first round. Sorry. Were you going over
Thunder.
your pick?
I have Thunder, Mavs, Wolves, Nuggets. That's what you said, right?
I think so.
Am I
I
right
think I
about
said
that?
that. I think
Well,
so.
I'm trying to make sure I got my second round seeding right. I think I
I
do.
think
Yeah,
so.
Mavs are the fight. Yeah, it'd be them and okay. All right, go
There you
for it.
go.